Can you watch these without flinching? Experience the intensity of close calls and near misses in our collection of wild animal encounters. In order to help with conservation efforts, volunteers spent a beautiful day at sea in Handspy, South Africa, collecting data on the white shark population for the White Shark Diving Company.
Starting. It's going this way. It's right here.
The group waited patiently, but they had no idea what was in store for them when the moment finally arrived.
Oh my god. Whoa, there it is! Oh my god!
The 4.8-meter-long female white shark stayed near their boat for over an hour, allowing researchers to photograph her dorsal fin as part of the White Shark Identification Project. This clip starts off with HD footage of a scuba diver taking in the sights, until something unsightly comes into view. This experienced diver seems to be keeping his cool, seemingly unfazed by the oncoming underwater killer, and that is exactly what makes the next part so shocking. The shark takes a chunk out of the man's arm in a flash and speeds away. Not to worry, though, the man is said to have returned to the ocean after completing a few months of hospitalization that also left him with a badass scar. This footage, taken in Australia, demonstrates how graceful and regal these large animals can be. Diver Jenny Bradshaw was tasked with documenting and analyzing great white shark sightings in Perth. After a couple of minutes in pursuit of the animal, it showed itself and did something almost only possible in movies. For Jenny, it was a day full of surprises, and she continues to marvel over the magnificent feat of strength by the powerful sharks. In this next clip, these two men are diving off the coast of Papua New Guinea. The man that is rubbing a plastic bottle between his hands is doing so to attract sharks, a suicidal endeavor that will not end well. The foolish man even swims out into the open, away from his friend, in a bid to attract a shark. Little does he know he is about to have his death wish come true. The shark comes straight for the man from out of nowhere. Neither of these two see it coming. Allow me to slow it down for you. As it turns out, the man ended up completely unharmed, apart from a severe headache after the shark rammed the man upon realizing they weren't prey. While fishing at sea on an 8-foot kayak, this man unfortunately hauled in a little more than he bargained for. At the start of the video, the fisherman reveals that his catch is quite heavy, and so he suspects that it might be a shark.
He's down there. He's big. I'm letting him twist me because I don't want to go too quickly or else he'll flip me. I'm only in an 8-foot kayak. I'm not in a kayak that's designed to be fishing in, I'll tell you that.
He carefully reels it in for a while, and when the catch comes close to the surface, he confirms that it is indeed a tiger shark, one big enough to overturn his kayak.
See that tiger shark right there? I'm gonna have to cut this line right here real soon, right?
After bringing the majestic beast to the surface for a closer look, the brave man decides to let it go, afraid that its strength might flip over his kayak. This clip isn't just good, it's great. Meet the king of the ocean, the great white shark. This shark is in no mood to make friends and wants all the smoke. It swims straight into the diver's cage, testing its strength and the diver's nerves. The shark continues to push against the cage, albeit unsuccessfully. Realizing that it is a futile endeavor, the great predator decides to swim away. A penny for the diver's thoughts in those gut-wrenching moments. This group is down in the ocean with a cage to protect them from what appears out of the depths of the ocean. The shark is watching them from a distance, observing, calculating. It continues to inch closer and closer to the audience, to its bloody theater. The shark is at this point too close for comfort for many in the cage, and that unease turns into full-blown fear when this happens. The shark slams into the cage in an attempt to break through it. Realizing that that's not possible, the hunter swims away, much to the relief of these divers. The shark continues to keep an eye on them, but the divers will remain safe and without further drama. Somewhere in Guadalupe, a diver got a little more than he bargained for when he attracted the attention of a great white shark while cage diving. In the beginning, all seems to be going well as the diver observes the large animal from a distance. Unfortunately, the shark quickly spots the cage and decides to come get a closer look when this happens. When the cage bars fail to give way, the determined predator circles the cage and now attacks the bars on the other side. Luckily for the diver, the animal seems to lose interest after the second failed attempt and is seen swimming away. When this group went fishing, they caught something a little bigger than they bargained for. They continue to try to reel the shark in, but this bull isn't going down without a fight. In what is a vicious attempt to break free, the shark violently slams into the boat to throw the people hunting it off. The people jump back in sudden disbelief. It seems they have underestimated a shark on its home turf. The shark manages to swim back down, albeit it's still caught on the hook. The shark once again slams into the boat, giving these fishermen another warning. But they try to bring the raging bull to the surface once again.
Yeah. Shark ahoy.
The shark manages to snap the line, swimming away back into the ocean. A group of friends fishing in the middle of the ocean decide to pull out their phones and record after they see something swimming below them. Terrified by the size of the silhouette of the creature below them, they approach the edge of their boat cautiously, when all of a sudden, this happens. Sharks do not intentionally topple boats. Incidents of boats capsizing due to sharks are extremely rare and typically involve accidental collisions. Despite this, they are still understandably terrified of what the predator did to their boat, possibly due to the influence pop culture sharks have on them. The group then recovers their bait in order to not entice the animal further. This couple was out in the ocean exploring a wreck, no, not the Titanic, without a worry on their minds. That is when something truly unexpected and shocking happens. A shark attacks the woman recording from behind, biting directly into her air hose. The woman is instantly sent into panic, but the man remains calm. The two quickly find a solution as the man gives his wife his primary regulator and uses his own alternate. But where is the shark, you might be asking? Well, have a look at this angle from the husband's view. That didn't look like a full-grown shark, and these people should be thankful for that. Spearfishing can be dangerous due to risks such as shallow water blackouts, entanglement, and encounters with aggressive marine life. In this encounter, a normal spearfishing trip unexpectedly becomes a nightmare after this fisherman becomes the one being hunted. The shark can be seen swimming rapidly towards him and immediately biting him in the hips after getting close enough. The fisherman, pumped with adrenaline, desperately fights with the shark in an attempt to at least stop it from biting him again. He gets lucky, and the shark lets go immediately, giving him the chance to swim to safety. So, which one of these encounters did you find the most traumatizing? Down under, in Sydney, Australia, a man almost maxed out all of his lucky aces when he went cliff diving and was greeted down under style by a waiting spectator. Terry Tufferson and a few of his friends decided it would be refreshing to change up their plans for the day and go impromptu diving in true Australian fashion. Cheered on by his friends, Terry then took the plunge. But as soon as he hit the water, he realized how grave his decision was. Fortunately, Terry's encounter with the shark was something of a cautionary tale for everyone to never underestimate the forces of nature. After a long day fishing in his kayak, this fisherman finally feels a tug on his line, leading him to quickly reel his catch in. Excited about the fish that he caught, he proceeds to quickly reel it in, when all of a sudden he sees something horrifying following his line.
That feels like a bait. Oh my god! Woo! Woo!
Due to some quick thinking and a little bit of adrenaline, he manages to move his hand away from the predator's mouth. Fishing in shark-infested waters increases the risk of shark encounters, potentially leading to dangerous situations if proper precautions are not taken. In nature, a hunter can sometimes become the one being hunted. A man decided to go on a cage dive in Guadalupe, Mexico, to meet a creature that has only ever appeared in his elementary textbooks. The daring man in the video is Bob. He has marked off many things from his list of adventures. Next is finally meeting the ever-powerful great white shark. Bob, overjoyed, felt a surge of excitement from the once-in-a-lifetime encounter with the creature, when out of equal curiosity, the mighty beast gave him a show he will never forget. Bob continued his story about the time he came face to face with a great white shark, rejoicing in the fact that the shark did not mistake him for a seal and attack him instead. A group of fishermen can be seen helping each other pull a heavy fish they caught using bait while fishing in the middle of the ocean. Moments later, they finally managed to tire the fish out. Unfortunately for them, though, something else had eyes on that fish as well. Massive shark can be seen jumping out of the water and snatching the fisherman's hard-earned catch with ease. Great white sharks can grow to lengths of around 20 feet or more, with the largest individual reaching sizes exceeding 6 meters. Luckily for them, the predator was only interested in the fish, and not them. In Monterey Bay, California, a swimmer was alerted by a drone operator who saw danger approaching the unaware diver in New Brighton State Beach's calm waters. Eric Mailander was flying his newly set-up drone over the beach when he noticed a strange movement in California's waters. Upon noticing, he made efforts to calmly inform the swimmer of the potential danger of its presence. Despite shark warning signs in the area, Eric felt obligated to act. Since the water is warm, these sharks like the shallows and will interact with swimmers, surfers, boogie boarders, and stand-up paddlers. Thankfully, no horrific predatory footage was captured during this encounter. A boat with fish-looking tags attached to its tail can be seen being chased by an incredibly fast mako shark in the middle of the ocean. The predator, attracted to the attachments on the boat, repeatedly attacks it in hopes of snagging an easy meal. Boats may attach fish-like attachments on their tails to attract game fish, enhancing fishing opportunities by simulating natural prey movement. Despite already trying and failing multiple times, the shark continues to attack the fish-like attachments on the boat, thinking they're real fish. After a few minutes, the predator finally realizes that they're fake and leaves. What was going to be a fun scuba diving video becomes a shocking and terrifying one after this diver records a terrifying sight in front of him. Despite the shark being only a few meters away from him, he continues to record the predator calmly as it passes by. Shark attacks on scuba divers are rare, as sharks typically avoid confrontation, but caution and respectful behavior are advisable during encounters. Unable to leave the scene, the diver remains in place, hoping that the predator will continue ignoring him while it passes by. He gets lucky, and the predator decides to swim past him without harming him. This fisherman can be seen just enjoying his day while fishing in the middle of the ocean in the Florida Keys. Shortly after casting his bait, a fish immediately decides to take it, making him reel it in as fast as possible. What he thought was going to be an easy and fast catch unfortunately turned into a shocking encounter with a very hungry shark. If a shark steals your catch while fishing, remain calm, release the catch if possible, and avoid aggressive behavior to prevent escalating the situation. He got lucky that the shark was only interested in the fish instead of him. This clip starts off rather intensely as these unlucky cage divers suddenly get attacked by a great white shark. They all continue screaming at the top of their lungs as the vicious predator keeps trying to get to the meal inside. The nightmare goes on for many more minutes until the animal finally decides to leave them alone and swim away completely. In Gansby, South Africa, YouTuber Eheb Tuji and his friends were cage diving when they witnessed something completely out of this world. Having spotted a great white shark not too far away, they attempt to lure it closer by hooking a piece of meat to a rope. The great white is indeed nearby, but it isn't very interested in that small piece of meat floating around. It tries to bite off the metal bars a few times, but thankfully fails in doing so. The predator gives up on its hopes for a nice meal and turns away to swim back into the depths of the ocean. Just thinking about what could have happened if those metal bars hadn't resisted that shark's bite gives me the chills. Would you ever go cage diving with sharks? I don't think I would. Guadalupe, this terrifying video opens with a seemingly relaxed shark circling a few cage divers recording the experience. Seemingly intrigued by the cage's structure, the predator swims closer to have a better look, but things take a much more frightening turn. Having satisfied its curiosity, the shark swims away, leaving the divers to continue their adventure. Joey Antonelli and his friend Nick were on a routine boat ride in Oahu, Hawaii, when they met a local resident they had not scheduled a meeting with. As they waited for that day's catch, Joey felt like he was in the presence of something other than his favorite fish, the mahi-mahi.
Go, 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 go! Go, what are you doing?
As his terrified companion continued to freak out, Joey peered around the rear of their boat, where he was shaken by what he saw.
No! Oh my god, the shark's eating your trolling motor! Hey! Nick, what? He's eating your trolling motor, Nick!
Fortunately for them, the shark quickly lost interest in the trolling motor and kept swimming downward. A man named Ledio had an unforgettable experience kayaking in the pristine waters of Dermi, Albania. Ledio had been kayaking his entire life, and his camera in hand, he captured the moment he became entangled with a particularly persistent fish. After a few minutes of paddling, Ledio turned his head from side to side to identify the creature following him. In a flash of clarity, he affirmed his initial suspicion. It was a shark. The powerful short-finned mako shark persisted in pestering Ledio, to which he responded with a more territorial approach. After a few more thrashings, the naughty shark laid off Ledio, who continued to paddle away. A man's experience while cage diving in South Africa went from thrilling to terrifying after he came face to face with an extremely hostile animal. Paul Deering signed up for cage diving, thinking he would have a very pleasant experience with majestic sharks. When the adrenaline junkie Paul jumped into the water with the cage, he was met with such a powerful force that he was forced to brace for his life. We can take comfort in the fact that Paul survived the ordeal because the cage was sturdy enough to withstand the savage blows of the raging shark. YouTuber M. Hakim was on an ordinary dive at Brothers Island in Egypt when a member of his crew got extremely unlucky. At first it seems like an average shark encounter where nothing bad usually happens. Unfortunately, things go south rather quickly when the shark begins circling around one of the divers. Feeling threatened, the man tries to swim away from the predator as it suddenly attempts to take a bite out of his foot. Luckily, it fails in doing so and calmly swims away like nothing happened. The divers now begin to seriously worry about their safety. Just a few minutes later, the shark comes right back for the same guy and attempts to bite his face off. He does everything in his power to fight the beast off as it keeps coming back at him. Thankfully, the man is able to land a powerful punch on the shark's face that scares it away. Truly anything is possible in the ocean, and you should always be prepared to fight for your life, like this man did. What would you do if a shark came that close to you? Would you swim away or fight it off? Sam Jaff and his wife Heidi used to take regular boat rides 4 miles off the coast of Key West, Florida, where they often stopped to swim.
The water's beautiful.
On one fateful day, a cameo appearance beneath them altered the course of events.
Hey Heidi.
Over there,
Hey Heidi, get in the boat.
Are you being serious?
Luckily enough, Sam saw the wriggling creature before Heidi turned into shark food.
Look at
Can you
that.
see them?
Yeah, they're like circling. Look. Look out.
Sam's ocean awareness not only helped them avoid a potential shark attack, but also taught them to be more cautious on future boat trips. Several shark enthusiasts got dangerously close to a 20-foot monster in Charleston, South Carolina, for the chance at $1 million footage.
Oh my God! Holy dude!
Chris Clemens and his buddies organized a trip to fulfill their fascination with the magnificent creature.
He's a monster, dude! Holy shit!
They dropped bait into the water, luring the huge fish to the side boat. Fortunately, it took a big bite out of the bait and swam away before it could harm any humans. An eager crowd gathered in False Bay, South Africa to witness a great white shark breaching the water.
Okay. Guys, could I get all of you to stand up just for 1 second?
Sean, a tourist from the United States, thought that going shark watching could be a lot of fun. As they awaited their timely guest, the tour organizer asked them to stand up. Then suddenly this incomprehensible act took place before their very eyes. That fleeting encounter with the wondrous creature opens Sean's eyes to the fact that he is a minuscule dot in the vastness of the universe. Somewhere along the South African coast, two kayakers received a visit from a terrifying, unexpected guest. In the beginning, one of the two men notices a 13-foot great white shark approaching, so he gets out his camera and starts recording.
I want to get him on camera. He's still there. Okay, I can see him.
For quite some time, the predator is seen circling around their kayaks, coming dangerously close to them multiple times. Regardless, the two daring men try to remain calm and even put bait into the water to further entice the animal, but somehow fail to realize that they are bait themselves.
Oh yeah, here comes again.
After circling the kayaks for a little longer, the shark eventually goes back to minding its own business and leaves them alone for good. Shark diving cages are generally safe when operated by experienced professionals, but accidents can occur if safety protocols are not followed. If you're thinking of getting in a diving cage in shark-infested waters, I urge you to think again after watching this terrifying video. The predator can be seen ramming itself directly into the cage with only one goal in mind: to taste whatever is inside the cage. While potentially dangerous, sharks rarely harm humans deliberately, with fatal attacks being infrequent and often due to mistaken identity. Thankfully, the predator decides to swim away after being unable to fit inside the cage. At the beginning of this horrifying encounter, a spear fisherman can be seen descending onto the ocean floor in search of prey to hunt. Failing to find fish nearby, he proceeds to wander further away from his boat. Little did he know that this would become his biggest mistake. Frightened and shocked by the shark circling him, he proceeds to swim towards the surface as fast as he can. After reaching the surface, he proceeds to call for help, but his already dire situation takes a darker turn after he looks down to check and sees this. Fortunately, his friend swiftly maneuvers his way towards him and picks him up before anything tragic happens. Two fishermen decide to record themselves while on the job in order to pass the time and for them to have something to watch later.
I think I see him there.
At first, nothing seems to be out of the ordinary as the camera captures both of them just scanning for fish around the area. But we all know this wouldn't be included in this compilation if nothing happened.
Whoa! Holy crap! It dove right out of the water! You see that? Man!
Sharks can jump several feet out of the water, with some species capable of reaching heights of up to 10 feet or more. The fact that only a few inches of steel saved this man never fails to give me goosebumps. A man can be seen sitting on the ocean floor while he admires the fish and lemon sharks swimming around him. He appears not too concerned about the sharks, but this feeling of calmness doesn't last long, as moments later, this happens. Shark bites can be severe, but are rarely fatal, with most encounters resulting in minor injuries that can be treated with medical care. Due to the shark being small, as well as not being able to bite him that hard, he remains calm and continues admiring the marine life around him. Thankfully, it was a small shark. Too bad the previous guy wasn't that lucky. What was supposed to be a fun day at the beach suddenly becomes horrifying after tourists see something terrifying wash up on the shore. Instead of running away from the predator, a group of men decides to do something extremely risky and dangerous instead.
Oh my! Dave, it's too dangerous!
Initially, they struggle to drag the predator back to deeper waters, but with assistance from others, they eventually succeed in doing so.
Babe, let him.
Mako sharks are at risk due to overfishing and habitat loss, necessitating urgent conservation measures to safeguard their declining populations. After trying multiple times, they finally succeed in saving this unfortunate shark's life. Watch this view from the surface as these two curious tiger sharks approach a frightened swimmer at the same time. Tiger sharks can be dangerous due to their size and predatory nature, but they generally avoid humans, and attacks are rare. The swimmer tries to remain calm, but as soon as the sharks get too close, she's left with no choice but to do this. Despite the initial push, the shark continues bothering the woman, making her try her best to avoid the predator's jaws as much as possible.
Instead of doing that, she turns right back towards me. When I'm pushing down to redirect her, she actually pushes me out of the water and snaps, so I go underneath her to avoid her jaws.
After a while, the sharks lose interest in her and swim away, leaving her unharmed. This group of divers can be seen trying their best to remain calm after a shark decides to approach and investigate them closely. Sharks do not fear humans, but typically avoid them. However, certain factors may trigger aggression or curiosity, leading to potential encounters. Unfortunately for them, the shark refuses to respect their personal space, which leaves one of the divers no choice but to do this. Sharks may approach humans diving out of curiosity, confusion, or to investigate potential prey, often mistaking them for their natural food sources. The predator then swims away after getting the bait from the diver. What was supposed to be a fun paddle boat trip suddenly becomes the fuel for nightmares after a lurking predator decides to go on a hunt.
Hard to tell. Keep coming. Keep coming.
The friends watching them from the boats can be heard quickly calling for them to rush to the boat in fear of what might happen otherwise. There is no telling what will happen next, and we can just hope and watch as these paddle boaters try to remain calm while trying to outrun a shark. Sharks may mistake humans for prey in certain circumstances, such as murky water or if wearing shiny objects resembling fish scales, leading to rare attacks. Unfortunately, the clip ends abruptly, and what happened to the other guy is unknown. This next shark video shows what it would look like if you came face to face with a hungry great white shark. Great white sharks typically have around 300 teeth arranged in several rows, with new teeth continuously replacing old or damaged ones. Shark teeth continually grow and are replaced throughout their lives, ensuring they maintain functional dentition for hunting and feeding. Do you think you'll be able to swim in the ocean after watching this? The lives of two friends in a small kayak in the middle of the ocean are suddenly put in danger after this happens. The excitement in the woman's voice is quickly filled with shock after the shark inches closer to their kayak. While rare, it's possible for a great white shark to capsize a kayak if it's large enough and engages in aggressive behavior. I think it's no secret that falling on top of a great white shark is nothing short of disastrous for everyone involved. Fortunately, the interaction between these two parties remained calm and safe. A bunch of tourists are suddenly asked to rush to the shore after lifeguards spot something sinister swimming in the water. The crowd can be seen watching as the shark swims around the shore, but unfortunately some people are not able to make it to the shore. This creates an intense atmosphere, with some of the people left behind choosing to stay in place, while others make a break for the shore. Thinking of surfing soon? Well, continue watching this video and let's see if surfing is still on your to-do list. This drone footage shows the sharks swimming near the surfers, waiting to catch a wave while they're oblivious as to what's happening. After a few minutes of this, one surfer finally realizes that he's being followed by a shark and tries to put distance between him and the predator. Sharks might approach surfers out of curiosity or confusion, possibly mistaking them for prey due to the silhouette and movement resembling typical food sources. Fortunately for him, the animal finally realizes that he is not prey and leaves him alone. A man getting ready to dive into the water is suddenly held back after he sees this approaching the boat he's in. Great white sharks are apex predators and potentially dangerous, but attacks on humans are rare, and fatalities even rarer. The shark can be seen raising its head above the surface, showing the divers firsthand the dangers of being in the ocean. Even though he is terrified and shocked about what he is seeing, he still manages to keep his hands steady to record this amazing encounter. The shark then decides to swim away after a while, ending the encounter. What was supposed to be a quick dive in the deep sea unexpectedly becomes a nightmare for this diver after she sees this approaching her.
This is a natural response that most people would have to this type of situation. But at the end of the day, no matter...
In this scenario, others would already be swimming away, but she decides that the best course of action would be to stand her ground. Swimming away quickly can trigger a shark's predatory response. It's better to remain calm, maintain eye contact, and slowly back away. The shark inches closer and closer to her, and when it finally gets too close, she is left with no choice but to do this. Fortunately, this successfully redirects the shark's path, leaving her alone and safe. A group of friends relaxing on a yacht in the middle of the ocean are suddenly called to panic after one of them sees something terrifying lurking beneath them.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Whoa, I'm videoing right now.
Panic can escalate a shark encounter. Staying calm helps maintain rational behavior and increases the chance of a safe outcome. The group then decided to record the predator swimming underneath their boat, while making sure to stay far from the edge.
Look at him! He could tip the boat over. Look at him!
Just imagining what would happen if somebody fell into the water is already giving me chills. Spearfishing in shark-infested waters can be dangerous due to the increased risk of shark encounters, necessitating caution and awareness of surroundings. The two spear fishermen in this video can be seen entering the ocean when all of a sudden their trip is cut short after seeing this. Both of them immediately rush towards the surface and back to their boats after realizing the grave danger they are in. Mako sharks can exhibit aggression if provoked, but typically avoid confrontation with humans unless threatened or attracted by fishing activity. Thanks to their keen eyesight and quick reflexes, they were able to avoid getting bitten. A group of men out fishing in the middle of the ocean suddenly see something terrifying in the distance, making their trip a whole lot more dangerous. They try to avoid the shark, but despite their efforts, the predator decides to take a closer look at their boat.
Right there, right there, right there. Oh, look at him. That's a huge shark, dude.
Sharks may approach boats out of curiosity, to investigate potential food sources, or due to stimuli such as vibrations and smells from fishing activities. If a shark approaches your boat, stay calm. Avoid sudden movements and give it space. If possible, gently deter it using non-threatening methods. After swimming underneath their boat, the shark finally gets bored and leaves. A woman can be seen scuba diving with a group of other people, recording her experience to hopefully reminisce on it later. Unfortunately for her, this supposedly fun experience unexpectedly becomes tragic after one of the scuba divers spots something terrifying in the distance. The group immediately swims away from the shark while the predator continues following them, curious about what the scuba divers are. When encountering a shark while scuba diving, maintain calm buoyancy, avoid sudden movements, and observe the shark from a distance to appreciate its beauty. Luckily, they were all able to escape the encounter safely. A group of friends sailing on a small boat in Iceland suddenly find themselves in a dangerous situation after noticing a shark following them. Instead of paddling away, the group decides to stay in place in order to record the terrifying predator inching closer to them. Staying away from sharks when in a small boat reduces the risk of accidental encounters and minimizes potential interactions, ensuring safety for both the humans and the sharks. They can be seen recording the shark approaching them, completely disregarding the risks of not getting out of their current situation. Thankfully, the animal decides to leave them safely after a while. Two spear fishermen diving on the ocean floor can be seen recording themselves exploring a sunken structure while looking for something to shoot. At first, everything seems normal, but things quickly get out of hand after one of them spots something terrifying swimming towards them. In this tale of hunters becoming the hunted, the two of them try their best to remain calm while praying for the shark to leave. Shooting a shark while spearfishing is not recommended unless it poses an immediate threat. Opt for non-lethal deterrence methods first. Their prayers are thankfully answered as the shark decides to leave them alone. This clip starts off on a frantic note with a tiger shark circling around our stranded cameraman. If you thought that was bad, wait until you find out that after a few seconds the shark disappears from sight altogether, with the man frantically snapping his head around to look for the predator. When the shark returns soon after, like a phantom rising from the dead, the man barely registers its presence. The man realizes he is in danger and tries to swim away backwards, keeping his spear at the ready should he need it, and as it turns out, he does indeed end up needing it. Fortunately for the man, it seems his spear was enough to deter the shark. In this next clip, we see a shark make a Disney supervillain entrance. But this shark means serious business, unlike the previous ones we've shown. This one tries to go straight for the diver in the cage. After getting stuck a few times, it unsurprisingly is unable to get through the cage and decides to swim away. The divers inside breathe a huge sigh of relief. That shark was hungry, or angry, or both. All in a good day's work for these divers, I suppose. This man has spotted a shark beneath him while surfing, and he seems bizarrely pumped about it. The man then spots a turtle beneath the surface, also swimming around in close vicinity of the murder machine. The turtle, realizing it's also in danger, immediately makes a U-turn, but is unable to escape.
Oh no! Oh! Holy Oh, this is intense. They're underneath me. Look, the tiger's going.
But the man, so captivated by the shark's chase of the turtle, forgets that he is also in the blast zone. He doesn't realize that what happened to the turtle is going to happen to him next.
Uh-oh. Oh, what?
The shark goes on and takes a huge chomp out of the man's surfboard, sending the man tumbling into the water and right into the shark's home turf. I love how he doesn't forget his camera, though. It seems that this man viewed it as more of a transformative experience.
Oh my god! Oh, look at the teeth marks! Look at the teeth marks! Look at this! Oh, I love that so much!
This man is lucky that shark was not serious about hurting him, otherwise there would have been no experience to have had. This clip starts out as something straight out of a horror movie. These are shark-infested waters, bull sharks, hammerheads, the whole party. These divers have chosen the depths of hell for their staycation. These men seem pretty experienced if their calm demeanor underwater is anything to go by. However, things take a horrifying turn when one hammerhead gets a little too close for comfort. That was a skillful maneuver from the diver, and these people show off their years of experience as they continue to handle the sharks of Tiger Beach. I guess it's nice to finally see some aptitude on display. This man is just kayaking along at sea when he realizes something is amiss. He snaps his head back to look at something he thinks he's seen out of the corner of his eye. Little does he know that that peripheral threat is about to become very real. The man is understandably very confused. He doesn't know what hit him, literally. That is when the threat resurfaces again, sending the man into a panic. The man, understandably scared, quickly paddles away. His life depends on it. It seems he will live to tell the tale. A swimmer decides to record a shark swimming alongside him, when all of a sudden the predator decides to do this. The swimmer, accepting the fact that he cannot outswim a shark, decides to stay in place and record it getting closer instead. Sharks can swim at varying speeds depending on species. Some, like the mako shark, can reach speeds exceeding 40 miles per hour. Unfortunately, the clip ends short, and what happens next is still a mystery. Somewhere in Guadalupe, a diver got a little more than he bargained for when he attracted the attention of a great white shark while cage diving. In the beginning, all seems to be going well as the diver observes the large animal from a distance. Unfortunately, the shark quickly spots the cage and decides to come get a closer look when this happens. When the cage bars fail to give way, the determined predator circles the cage and now attacks the bars on the other side. Luckily for the diver, the animal seems to lose interest after the second failed attempt and is seen swimming away. This spear fisherman is out at sea, doing as spear fishermen do. Little does he know his day is about to turn upside down. The coast seems clear for the most part. There seems to be no danger, no threat, until he spots death speeding toward him at a rate of knots. Now that is a sight that would make anyone's heart stop. The shark comes at the man from out of nowhere and lunges at him. But this man's instinctive reflexes save his life. He sends his spear straight into the shark's jaws against incredible odds. The shark is stopped in its tracks, and this man manages to get away. Kudos to this man. That was spectacularly quick thinking. In then quiet Portrush Harbor, Ireland, an unwelcome guest caused widespread panic among locals. The harbor's residents swarmed a scene that is very much out of the norm.
Oh my word. Let's try and get there. To the rock face.
When this unthinkable act by a 14-foot basking shark occurred, men, women, and children crowded carelessly over the edge of the harbor.
Whoa!
After authorities learned of the residents' carelessness, they reportedly considered human and animal welfare to achieve coexistence.